So guys, it's about an hour, 15 minutes today from Tangier to Tetuan. And I want to take you guys through a little bit of my journey here in Morocco. A lot of you have asked me so many questions. I think I'll take some time to answer that. We'll do a little Q&A and then show you guys the beautiful views here in the mountains between Tangier and Tetuan. As you guys know, I have two dars, juice dars in Morocco at the moment, in Tangier and in Tetuan. I have the flexibility of going through back and forth to each of them. I'm not renting either of them out currently, and they're for my main residences. So I stay there, work in Tetuan a bit, spend a lot of time there in the summer, Tangier more in the winter. You know, my wife and I, we really like the vibe here in Tangier during the winter because Tetuan can get a little bit more calmer. That being said, it's winter right now. Why am I going to Tetuan? Because it's chill. Guys get a couple days to just work, lock in, go to the beautiful La Salles in Tetuan. As you know, I love the gym. So that's why I go, you know, a couple days a week. A lot of friends and family of mine, they come, they visit, they want to go to Tetuan and just really relax. Hey, question one. What am I? Am I Indian, American? Who am I? What am I? So guys, I am Indian by blood. Okay, it's a little confusing. I'm Indian by blood, but I was born and raised in America. My first language is English. I do live in Morocco now. So Indian by blood, American by culture, nationality, and lifestyle growing up, but now living the Maghrebi life. It's funny, you know, a lot of you ask me, even when I'm coming back, I went to Ceuta last week. I went to Spain and I was coming back to Morocco, and the guy said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Bro, I'm American. Here's my passport." He said, "No, where are you from?" I said, "Dude, I'm born in California." And he said, "No, where are you from?" I said, "I'm born in California." And then eventually, you know, you get used to it. It's based on your skin color, right? So by that definition, I'm Indian, I'm Hindi, right? Which is cool, you know, but that day I was just, I don't know, man, probably I was tired. I didn't want to answer so many questions. Upset. He said, "You know what I'm talking about." And I said, okay, but you know, it's funny because, you know, in America, they don't ask you that. So living abroad in the Middle East and I guess Africa now, you're gonna get asked these types of questions. So it's by blood. Who are you? If you're Indian, you know. Number Jush, question two, a lot of you have asked me is, why did I come to Morocco? Did I come here for the girls? Did I come here for the women? Did I come here because I was married to a Moroccan? Did I have plans on marrying a Moroccan? Did I come here for work, business? What did I come here for? You know, the honest answer I'm going to tell you guys is none of those. I came to Morocco for a week as a tourist to going to Marrakesh, like many of you. I saw it, I said, okay, that's cool. And I went back to Dubai and back to Portugal and the United States because I was traveling around a little bit. After Portugal, 3 months in Lisbon, I went to the US. Some friends that I had met in Marrakesh, they said, "Why don't you come to Morocco?" I said, like, really? Okay, it's kind of far. Ended up getting a good flight here, and they said, "Oh, we're actually in Tetuan and Tangier now." So I ended up coming to the north of Morocco, and I booked a ticket for like 2 weeks. I'm flexible, you know. If it's good work-life balance here, I can work remote, good connection. I said, okay, cool. So I came here and I loved it, guys. Tetuan, I came to Tetuan. I stayed specifically in Mediek, right? To be really correct. I stayed in Mediek and I loved it. It was so calm, guys. I couldn't believe it. So different than Marrakech. Who would have thought? Like, I thought every Morocco is like Marrakech. It was so different. I stayed in an Airbnb in Mediek, of all places, so Maghrebi. And I overlooked the marina, the fishing harbor. Guys, I would work in the afternoons, in the mornings, go to the La Salle there. It was such a good, refreshing vibe. You know, it was so different than, you know, my time in Dubai, because during my time in Dubai, everything is on the go. Right? Like, you're just working, never have enough money, like Lamborghinis everywhere. It's like, you wanted a little break from that fucking shit. You know what I mean? So I said, all right, like, this is so refreshing. I didn't realize it myself. Like, I came there and I said, wow, this is good. You kind of really see, like, okay, what do I want to do? What kind of life do I really want to live? So guys, I've extended my Airbnb 2 months. Then I got another apartment in Cabo Negro. I rented that for 1 month. And then I got another apartment in Cabo Negro, rented that for 3 months. And then I finally moved into my apartment in Costa Mar, which I purchased. Okay? Purchased that apartment. It was a really big decision for me. and I decided to go with it because I just love the calmness. I said, guys, worst case, I can live here and I can, you know, work a little bit. I can relax. Even if I don't have work, I can relax. My cost of living is very, very low in Tetuan area. So I always say, like, you know, Morocco kind of chose me, and it's a perfect fit in the north of Morocco, the lifestyle and, you know, what I really look for. I like calm, peaceful places, as do so many of you guys too as well. Like, especially on YouTube, we're very similar. I met a lot of you, and we really have a common thing that, you know, we like some places like that too. Don't get me wrong, Casablanca is great, Tangier is great, these busy cities are good, but for me at the time, you know, I really appreciated calmness of Tetuan. Next question, guys. Everyone says, are you married? You know, yes. Let me answer that question. Yes, I'm married. And how did you meet your wives? A lot of people asking me that. So Ikram and I, we are married, yes, and almost a year now married. And how did we meet? You know, we met through a friend. We go to La Salle together. We met at the gym. You know, that's like our big thing. You know, that really we both have in common. So for me, it's really important. For her, it's also very important as well. So it's something that, you know, we go with. But yeah, we're married. The process of getting married here in Morocco. What is the process of getting married in Morocco? Guys, if you want to really get married in Morocco, that's a whole nother video I need to make for you. You know, first you got to really ask yourself, do you really want to get married here? I think I should make another whole video about that. Let me know what you think. Couple things. One, don't meet your wife at a shisha lounge or something, please. Don't do that. I've heard horror stories. Number two, do not underestimate the process. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot of running around that you have to do as a foreigner to get married to a Moroccan, no matter where you're coming from. Okay, so I've been through that. I can make a video on that for you guys if you're really serious about getting married, but just really think about that first. What did you get for your Tomobile? Guys, I rented a car, rented a Dacia, a new Dacia in Tetuan for like 8 months or 9 months. It was really expensive. It was 500 dirham a month. No, 5,000 dirham a month or 6,000. I made a video on that, something around there. Which was bizarre. It was my biggest expense at the time. So I decided to buy a Tomobile. I bought myself, finally, actually one of my first cars I've ever bought. And I say one of the first because I think my parents bought me my first car in university. I got this new Range Rover Sport, 2019 Range Rover Sport that I have here in Morocco that I drive around. I did buy it, and I've had it for about a year and a half now. I got it at the end of 2024, and I love it, guys, having a Tomobile. But don't just buy any car from wherever and live in any city. You know, Tetuan is great for cars. Tangier is very bad for Tomobiles. Do not get a nice car like me in Tangier unless you have a plan, unless you are one of the few people who have a nice villa with indoor parking. Just don't do it, because you need kind of like a shitty car, guys, in Tangier. People, they're just gonna hit your car. Bikes gonna hit your cars. Also in Morocco too, a lot of bikes going around might get your car scraped. So yes, a lot of fancy cars in Morocco, but I don't recommend them in the cities of Tangier and the city of Marrakesh. Casa, yeah, a lot of people, but guys, it's a big city, you know. Rabat, amazing. You want a nice car, guys? Rabat's a great place for that. But otherwise, you know, keep it simple, get a PGU, something like that, you know. I might be doing that here in the near future, so I have like a smaller car to go around with as well. So don't be confused with all the fancy cars you see. This is the reality if you want to spend and get a Tomobile here in Morocco. Okay, guys, here's an important one. Where should I move to in Morocco? Guys, it's up to you. Marrakech, if you want a really traditional Moroccan vibe, but still modern, international tourists from all over the world, people you meet from all over the world, great restaurants, dinner shows and things, beautiful villas you can rent out, beautiful apartments you can rent out. You have Eureka Mountains nearby. That's the positives of Marrakech. Negatives, I'd say it's a little too touristy, guys. If you're looking, dating, don't meet people. Like, I might get in trouble for saying this. I wouldn't recommend dating in Marrakech either. A lot of you guys know. If you know, you know. Casablanca is great if you're looking for international city, maybe setting up a business. Great vibe. I would say it's a little more Moroccan international, like it's a hub, economic hub of Morocco. A lot of jobs, a lot of khadmas. So Casablanca is very high on the list, and there's so much to do, but it's a big city. So if you're coming from abroad, you will not feel any problem settling in. People do speak English out there too. Rabat, guys, Rabat has quickly jumped to become almost my favorite city here in Morocco. Why? The infrastructure is great. Clean roads, drive my automobile without having to worry. Parking, good parking, great overall city that has international field like Dubai, less touristy, but more like international people living there. So people you're gonna meet, they're gonna be there. They've been there for years and years. They have their families there from all over the world. Whereas Moroccan people are there for a week and then telefras. See ya, bye. Back to the UK or wherever they're coming from. So Rabat is great internationally. Ease of life into Rabat is great because you can assimilate very easily because people there, they speak English, they speak French, and it's very easy for communication. Whereas in other cities, it's a little bit more mushkil, okay? So Rabat has grown very quickly to my #1 city in Morocco, I would say, and it changes. Okay. Next is Tangier. Guys, I have invested in Tangier. I have bought an apartment here in Tangier. I've put flus into Tangier. I've renovated my apartment. I'm living there for the last year and a half, so I get to experience it. Tangier is a great city for the summer, for sure. It is a growing city right next to Spain. I would say it's the fastest growing city in Morocco right now. I don't have the facts and numbers around it. I'm just going about what I hear, see, and feel. A lot of people moving here from all over Morocco for Khadma, okay? From all these small towns, they come here to work. And the economy is not as much tourism. There's a big port, Tangier Med, so a lot of people live there. So prices have gone up. It's getting a little bit more expensive. If you're looking for a city with a good vibe, definitely has a very Moroccan vibe too. Doesn't try to be like Europe or anything. The infrastructure feels like Europe, like you're right next to Spain. You can literally see Spain, but it is not Europe. So keep that in mind. Also, not a good city to drive a automobile. Not a good city to have space with a lot of land with like villas and things like that. They do have them, but you're gonna have to shell out a lot of money. That is internationally a lot, like, to get a villa, as opposed to you can get the same thing in Morocco probably for way less. Okay, so keep that in mind, please. Tangier has become a very expensive city, but proximity to Europe, you can get onto a ferry and you'll be in Spain in 1 hour, guys. You'll be in Tarifa in 1 hour. If you like Marbella weekends like me, Tarifa, Marbella, guys, the Tangier ferry is right there and you have that, as opposed to Rabat or anywhere you live. All right, that takes care of Tangier. We went through Marrakech, Casa, Rabat. Now let's go to Tétouan. Guys, Tétouan, the first city I've settled in Morocco. Guys, Tétouan, it is my favorite city by far. Why? I like the peacefulness, guys. I love the peacefulness. And you know, some people say it's peace and calm and boring. Well, you know what? For 3 months or 2.5 months, it turns around completely. It goes from what you guys call boring, it goes to very, 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 very exciting. Okay, hang on, there's some police over here. Like my place to go to for the summer, the beaches, the restaurants, the cafe, the people, meeting so many of you guys coming there from abroad, Holland, Belgium, France, Spain, UK, everyone there, US, everyone has like apartments in Cabo Negro, Tétouan, Martel, and it turns into a vibe, guys. I love it in the summertime. Best beaches in Morocco. It makes up for the calmness, okay? That being said, like the rest of the months, it's a great place if you're looking for calm, peaceful Moroccan city. Not crazy like Tangier, but peaceful. And everyone from Tétouan is from Tétouan. Tangier is mixed. Like there's people from all over Morocco in that city. So you're gonna meet only Tétouani people in Tétouan, of course. And what do you do in the peaceful, calm months? Guys, I've met some friends here. They've moved to Tétouan just like me. Guys, work, hustle. If you have businesses, you want to work on things, that's the time to do it. If you have a family, it's a calm place to raise a family. Not stressful. Cost of living is one of the lowest in Morocco in Tétouan in the winter time. So it's definitely a place to explore. Great beaches. You like calm beaches in the winter? It's great, and you still have good weather. I go swimming almost year round in Tétouan. It will be great weather, and I'll have the whole beach to myself throughout the months, guys. So I'm talking May, June, April, May, June. I can have the beach almost to myself, guys, when it's not busy. That answers your guys' questions. Which city should you guys move to? So it's not a simple one. Depends on what you're really looking for, all right? Well, like me, you want a little bit of both, guys. Get an apartment in a couple of cities. Get one in Tetuan, get one in Morocco. You can do that. They're somewhat affordable if you really find the right price points and you have a good budget for that lifestyle that you want to live. All right, look at the greenery. I need some of this sometimes, guys. I like this greenery, calm drives. Okay, guys, next question. I think we're on number 4. Do I plan on staying in Morocco? I'm gonna be honest with you. I do love everything about Morocco, my life here. I feel like I'm on an adventure every day. Places I'm going to, apartments that I bought, lifestyle here can go a long way as opposed to the States or Dubai or, you know, Europe, UK. I do miss the United States. One, family is there. Friends, you know, my friends do come visit me here. That's fine. But I do miss family, and I also miss sometimes like the open lifestyle. Like, what do I mean is like the houses and villas are like open. You have it on land a little bit. You have some space. It's not in the city where I lived in San Diego. Maybe that's because I'm in Tangier. So I don't think that's really related to Morocco. It's really related to me living in Tangier and being a lot more of a closed space these days. And that's why I find myself going to Tetuan, Rabat, more open cities that, you know, have more space, I guess you can say. Not like crowded with like houses on top of houses. And Tangier, as I showed you, they're like 2 streets, one going this way, one going the other way, and people stop on the streets, the cars stop, it's stressful driving. So you feel like sometimes it's a little bit, you know, crammed life, I guess you can say. And like, no matter where you're gonna go in Tangier, you're going to have that apartment type life that you're gonna live. So I do miss that in the United States. Like Texas have the big houses for reasonable prices. You get like, I'm talking almost same prices as like Tangier. So, you know, I do miss that. That is in the back of my mind sometimes. But, you know, everywhere you go, when I came to Morocco, I said there's going to be pros, there's going to be cons about living in Morocco. So, you know, you got to get used to that. And everywhere in the world, there's pros and cons. America is great. You just don't have the culture, right? I miss the culture there. It's just empty and it's just work, flus. That's it. Telefras. Well, this is the moment. What do I not like? What are some cons about living in Morocco? All right, guys, Moroccan people, please do not be offended. I'm being honest with you here. There's some things that I don't like. One, I don't like, again, a lot of people, especially in Tangier, like 20 times a day, people begging me for money. Yes, maybe because it's my automobile. Maybe it's because the way I dress. Maybe because they think I'm an ajnabi, but I don't like that. And I know a lot of Moroccans abroad, you Maghrebis as well from abroad, they feel the same way as I do. They have to, because I'm driving in Marina in Tangier and people, like kids, are jumping on my car. And it's crazy because like I'm sure they take drugs and stuff. These little kids who are not so little, they just look little, probably like 10 to 15 years old. And they're jumping on my car asking for flus and like, you know, I understand the situations, but you know, some days it's not the right moment to be jumping on people's cars and asking for money over and over again. Like, you just drive down Marina in Tangier and you're going to see that. Something that I really don't like, but it's a small thing, you know. You get used to it. There's pros and cons of every city and country you live in. Second thing I don't like is getting stopped a lot by the police here when I'm driving. Not in the cities, outside of the cities. Like, you do get stopped, and if you're on your way somewhere, you gotta be somewhere, you just want to like you know, you just want to be on your way. Like, I'm going to Tetuan right now. Sometimes they stop you. Can we see all your paperwork? Can we see this? Where are you from? What do you do? Are you married? Are you this? Are you that? On and on and on and on. And guys, don't speak Darija. Like, sometimes I try to speak Darija and be cool. They just, okay, treat you like Moroccan and just keep wasting my time more. So that's something I don't understand, and I really don't. I understand what they're doing, but I don't. Some days I'm busy, you know. Some days I'm late to some things. I want to get to Tetuan, want to be on my way, not speeding, not doing anything wrong, just getting stopped. And again, that could be because that's your automobile. So I don't know, could be related to that sometimes, guys. Con, a big one. It was more of a situation, okay? It was more of a situation. I was in Marrakesh, and all this stuff started happening to me since I was with Ikram, my wife. When I'm by myself as a single guy, guys, it's great. Everyone's happy and things. I was in Marrakesh, a very open-minded city, yes, Marrakesh, and I was working out with my wife Ikram, who doesn't even look Moroccan, has blonde hair, like dyed her hair blonde and everything. And we were working out at a gym there, and we had gone the whole week, and there was no problems. We were lifting weights, we were, you know, the gym was mostly empty. And there's two guys who worked at the gym who were working there like with the t-shirts. They just sat in the front, like these two buff guys eating their food. I guess the gym owner had put him in charge of the gym. And I'm working out there with Ikram, and actually Ikram's sister was there that day. And one guy comes there and says, oh, like, she can't wear that to my wife. And I say, okay, let me understand what this guy is saying. The you know, the small guy who works there said it, not those big guys. This guy comes to me. I said, why are you saying that? Like, he felt uncomfortable even telling me, like someone else was telling him to tell me. And I look at Ikram, and you know, she's wearing a normal, I got her Alpha Elite or was it Gymshark or Alpha Elite? Nothing fucking crazy. It just this is like normal European workout apparel. And that showed her back. That has her back, right? That shows her back over here. Normal, guys, normal in the gyms here in Tangier. Never have I heard of something. Never, ever have I heard of something like this happening. And then, you know, while the guy's saying that to me, I look in the corner and there's like this girl, I think she's French, or she was black and French, and she's taking like selfies of like herself in the mirror and stuff, like, and I'm like, okay, why are they telling it to me and my wife? And I go to the front and I'm like, no, call the guy who's told you to tell you. So this big guy comes in and says, oh, no, you can't wear this. And, you know, my wife and her sister didn't want any problems. So we were like, okay, we have to go. And I was like, why do we have to go? Dude, you're just saying this because, you know, she's Moroccan or something. And then he started getting crazy. I took a video and I was starting making video. And this guy, he like tries to bump into me. And like, what are you doing, man? And so that was a really unpleasant experience. And the thing that surprised me the most about this was everyone here is okay with this type of behavior, because they say, oh, it's just jealous people, don't mind them, ignore them, and just keep going. Guys, if someone tells you that in like the US or Europe, like, oh, you can't work out because this, and you're very subjective, like your wife is wearing something with the back showing or some shit like that, like, guys, no one is going to listen to that, and no one is going to take that, you know what I mean? And I was really surprised. A lot of people commented, guys, it's just jealous people. Guys, it's crazy, because that type of behavior is kind of normalized here in Morocco, which I don't really like. And so that is a con that a very deep level con. I guess a lot of you will not experience this. A lot of you guys, if you're single, if you're old and you have your families, it's fine. But if you're young like me, and you know, you have a partner who's Moroccan, you might run into situations like that. And we're almost through our drive. We're at the top of the mountain here between Tétouan and Tangier. Some clouds coming in. Getting a little windy too.